Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show again. Those who have seen the show before, I guess that I've been here for a while, so you probably have seen me. And but I think my partner, my buddy that I got tonight, he probably hasn't seen me in the beard lately.
Yeah.
I,
No,
I'm
looks
not.
good.
I'm not Santa Claus. I'm not coming early. That's for sure. You're listening to Dave Emmons in a strange reality show, and my partner and my buddy Tom Althouse. It's been a while since we've been together. He's been busy, and he's been doing some things. And he's an actor, musician, writer, screenplay writer, script doctor in Hollywood, and he worked at Disneyland. And I guess Pat Robinson was one of the people that you worked with also. I think.
Yeah, his organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you wrote The Immortals and actually The Matrix. We're going to cover that briefly on his update on his battles in that area. But he's been on the Roseanne Barr show a couple of times, and she supports him and backs him 100%. And Roseanne Barr, she's a hoot. I'm telling you, she gets going. She
Yeah.
goes. She tells the
Yeah.
truth. I think the truth spills out of her. But actually, Tom has been around. He's been in this business for some time, but he's had some ups and downs and some battles with some elites, and we're going to talk about that. Tom Althouse is my guest tonight here on The Strange Reality. Tom, tell us what's going on with you now.
Well, we had some amazing events happen since last we've been together on the air. And one of the amazing things is that the original materials that were taken by Warner Bros. Attorneys and their cohorts back in like 2012, they were taken from my house, have now been restored to us. And there's some really amazing things happening where if you look at what was restored, it was restored 2 days before Easter this year. And that's a long time for this stuff to be gone. Their attorneys were meticulous in making sure important items such as all drafts of the Matrix story, The Immortals, before 96 had been commandeered. And we thought maybe they were destroyed. We never see them again. And what happened instead was they showed up at my house on my bed 2 days before Easter this year. And I'm going to show you some of those drafts right now. Then we'll go on with what else is going on. So this right here is an original draft that was taken from us by the supplied attorney, Tony Rankin, who was Warner Bros. Lead attorney classmate. And you can see on the draft number right there, the date here on these is pretty amazing. This is the 1993 first draft of the Matrix story, Immortals. And you can see even the drawings of how to do the fasteners and everything. And even in the corner up here, it says a date where it was gone over January or December or January 1994. So 1993 into January 1994, this was corrected at that time. This is the first draft.
And
So that's yeah,
let's inform the public that this is way before Keanu Reeves made the first movie. And
that's right. That was in 1999.
yeah,
So this is 1993.
yeah.
And the first time that the Warner Brothers claims that there's a Matrix title on paper is 1996. So what they did was they had their attorneys take from my own dining room. The one attorney came over as if he's coming for dinner.
Yeah.
And they took all these different ones like this one. And what's interesting about this one here, it's dated 1995, another pre-96. Keep in mind that George Michael was murdered on Christmas of 2016 when our case was finally thrown. When our case was finally thrown, they didn't want any witnesses to the work being finished in 1993. So he was the best witness to the work being finished in 1993 because he is the end credit music. He reviewed the whole piece in 1993 before I submitted in 93, saying, go ahead and submit, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
So he's the best witness. They killed him as soon as the case was thrown. Now, what's interesting about this 1995 version, which was also set on my bed, is that it's all notated throughout by Tricia Fike, who I never saw after 1995. And the cover page is gone. Notice there's a cover page here on this other entry that was on my bed, this draft, original draft. No cover page on this. The reason there's no cover page on this one, Dave, is because Tony Rankin, the supplied attorney, that crackhead, who was unlicensed to practice law, who solicited me to be represented by him, a defense attorney, he removed the cover page and stuffed it down my child's art box on Maui when he was having dinner at our house. He said, oh, I got to take this phone call on Saturday. And he ripped apart our evidence after saying, this is all the evidence on the table. and he stuffed the cover page down my child's art box, along with the poor man's patent where he had ripped open it and tore out the full script of that. Also,
Right.
all at that dinner. You know how the Greeks say not to abuse a dinner. So this remained and was taken by him for his cronies. So these two items are golden for the case coming up. These are pre-drafts before 1996.
You have any?
That's what they're afraid
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Do you have any signatures from officials, I guess, with the Hollywood industry on those drafts, Tom?
We don't need that. We've got the um everything we need on it, including signatures of other parties. So we're good. We're good. There's no way around this. And here's Greg Mazer. This is Greg Mazer who did the fight sequences with me. And they even included, this is also in the pile, this notation from him where he was moving and returning these things. This is a 1993 full script where he was working on the battle sequences with me before we resubmitted. And he also did an affidavit, sworn statement, notarized everything that, yes, all this was done in 93. He'd seen the full piece in 93. So what we have here is there's even more drafts here that were restored. So all these are restored 2 days before Easter, which I'm told by Michael Jaco means that the CIA's film department is working with us now. They want us to win. So Warner Brothers is in big trouble. Now, here's the other thing that goes with this I want to share with you. This is absolutely phenomenal. We had no idea that the supplied attorney, Tony Rankin, with a suspended license, who was classmates with their attorney, Warner Brothers attorney, Linda Burrows, what they'd actually pulled over our eyes and what they were using Sophia Stewart to pull over our eyes. And that is the following. They had made us only claim Matrix 2 and 3, the sequels. They didn't let us claim Matrix 1. Now, we didn't realize how significant this is. So here we are. The story is, we've never had a Matrix case. Think of that.
Oh.
They made us claim 2 and 3, didn't let me claim Matrix 1. We never got to have a Matrix case. Now we figured it out. So you can't win a case if you're just claiming the sequels. And they used Sophia Stewart and their attorneys to force us by implanting them to say you can only claim sequels. And then they ruled that if you're only claiming sequels, any matchups in Matrix don't count, and the sequel matchups don't count. So no matchups. We've not had a Matrix case yet. That means we're never done.
He wasn't the original of the whole thing because he wasn't involved in Matrix 1, right?
Well, the deal is we've never gotten to claim Matrix 1 through fraud on their part. They supplied their own attorneys and Sophia Stewart to keep telling us not to claim Matrix 1. Sophia Stewart did a whole song and dance in the beginning that claims to be the mother of Matrix, contacted me. I had taped that call. She contacted me way back in like 2012 and said, "You're the missing link. You can claim Matrix 2 and 3. I'm 1." And she blew a gasket, went off cursing like a truck sailor. When I said, "Well, look, I've just been contacted by an insider of the story department that said all my personal information's in the Matrix 1 in the interrogation scene, including my school," she lost it and started screaming and yelling at me. So what we have is proof Matrix 1 is ours, coming and going, and that we never were allowed to claim it. Now we can litigate.
Yeah, when's this case going to come up?
Yeah, with fraud and everything else. So this is very, very important to realize, is that we finally come out of the fog and realized why they were doing these resignations, why they were so upset, why they were so concerned, and why the agencies would restore all these original drafts. And keep in mind too, Dave, they're on tape, their attorneys are on tape, thanks to Tony Rankin, the defense attorney who was claiming to represent me, gave me the wrong tape recorder back at the deposition. He took mine and his, said it's illegal to record, turned mine off. I asked him if I record, no, pocketed mine with his. He gave me his back, and he had recorded illegally the whole thing. And on that illegal recording he did, which is about 7.5 hours long, digital, it says they're asked if they have initial disclosures to give to us finally. They said it's a moot point to ask for discovery. We have no working drafts. So what you see is they have no working drafts for the Matrix. We have all ours restored now. We've got them. We've got them. When it comes to court, they don't have a leg to stand on.
A couple of questions, Tom, buddy. Number one is, who do you think put those drafts on your bed at Easter time? And number two, who are they that want you to win?
CIA is what I'm told. Believe it or not, the FBI does not. The CIA does. Apparently, they're not together. So the CIA is actually celebrated in the original Matrix story. Neo and Smith are actually part of CIA department heads. One's under the other, Neo under Smith in the beginning, in the backstory. So in the end, it's actually Neo's ex-CIA and in the original backstory. And so there's a lot of CIA operatives that have helped me on my journey where the FBI has been brutal to me. So it's kind of like the CIA's got bright guys, the FBI's got dumb guys. Mm-hmm. And even with this switch with President Trump putting in this new FBI guy, he has not gotten the ship in order. They're still getting away with what they're doing, and they're not correcting the mistakes. People need to realize that there's not been a change at the FBI yet. They're still doing wrong stuff.
Bingo. I've been feeling the same thing. They have stacks and stacks and facts. That's what Bondi says. We got stacks of evidence. In January, she said that, and we're gonna prosecute these cases. But there's a lot of people on the internet said they have not seen one case. Nobody's been arrested.
No, the FBI is still as bad as it was, even with new leadership, which raises a lot of questions. Yeah. What they're doing right now is they're concerned about the public learning the corruption, so they're pretending that it's being dealt with, but nothing's been changed.
No, I'm watching this all the time, and I say, Pam Bondi has to go. I know, or it's not, but if you get rid of the top people, then you're going to have the same thing. I think there's a shadow government. Let's just say we've all been in this, the shadow government that pulls the strings. They are the puppet masters, and these people have to listen. I saw this is for entertainment purposes only, must say, when we get into politics.
Yeah, right, sure.
Dan Bongino, he comes on, and he almost gets into a cry. He says, there's a lot going on. He said, I've been shocked to the bone about what's been happening in our government. And he says, I don't know what to tell you. He said, I can't say anything to you. I can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
So he was letting his feelings out about what he's been learning. And
see,
so I'm thinking, that's something.
I'm allowed to talk though, Dave. I'm allowed to speak whatever I want to speak right now because the CIA and others see me as, believe it or not, like a movie, like the Neo. They said they put me on my own movie. What Hollywood do is put me on my own movie. So I'm allowed to say whatever I will. And they still, it's weird, license to speak. I'm allowed to say anything as the author, considered an asset. And I can tell you this too. President Trump has hidden the UFO releases, saying that basically he's saying that the public couldn't handle it. And you know what came to me right away? The public could handle it like rice and chili. There's no problem. And I got an image of like a museum scene where children are walked up with their parents and they're looking at alien ships and no one's throwing a fit. No one's screaming or pulling their hair out. They're just going like they're going to a museum going like, Daddy, is that? Yes, it is. They can handle it fine. So what is the reason for not allowing the alien tech to be released in the information? Why is President Trump, continuing to shut it down? It's not right. And the excuse that the public can't handle it is bull.
Right. I can see why Biden shut it down because of the ideology of the party.
Well, why Trump?
Yeah, why Trump?
Is he shutting it down? You can't use the excuse that we can't handle it. We can handle it fine. In fact, we can handle it better than a lot of government people.
Okay, look at his son, Don Jr. Don Jr. believes in him, and he wants to promote this disclosure. And he has talks with his dad all the time. His dad just kind of shoves him off. He said, well, I don't. He said on TV last week, they asked him, Trump, and they asked him, he said, what about this UFO disclosure? He says, well, I've been hearing from my military, officers and everything. They got legitimate stories. But he says, me personally, I don't believe in them.
Not true. They know. And the thing is, Dave, like I want to add on to this, just emphasize this. The public can handle it fine. In fact, the public can offer some really good explanations to some great minds in the public. Why do we have this idea that the public is somehow dumb and our administrators are somehow smart? I think it's the opposite. There's so many smart geniuses, especially our young people, in the public. They're the ones that are bright, not the administrators are dumb. It's like reversed.
It's like this thought: the deep state, the elites, and the shadow government are using these back-engineered technology against us to shorten our lives.
Well, there's the
How about
key.
that?
That's the key. The key is that the broken arrow idea that they consider the public the threat. And then they try to pick us out like one by one. Like I've been selected, I've been told, as one of the elite. Well, I don't get a real say in it, but I'm selected as one of the elite because of what I created. And they kind of judge you on like what you did so prolifically. It's like they look at you and go, Dave done all this work and you'll get contacted. It's like, so it's almost like an arc, and they want to bring in the two by two, the ones that are actually good, like have accomplished things. It's like they're stocking up brilliant minds for a reset. And the public doesn't realize that when people like naysay and shout down actual authors and geniuses, they're crossing their ticket off the seats. They're crossing their ticket, and for their family and loved ones, that they will not be included in the reset. They're
Well,
considered stupid by those that are actually doing this in the shadows.
in the past few months, I've joined IMEX, IMIX, out of uh,
Mhm.
out of Mexico City. Dr. Federico Vadel, he's the head of it. He's a
Mhm.
researcher, and he's got a group of scientists that are researching UAPs and disclosure. Well, I'm working on that committee. I'm with them, and I'm
Mhm.
actually doing what I'm doing right now is
Right.
podcasting, broadcasting, or whatever. And I've got my stories. I've had a couple of incidents a couple of months ago in Wyoming and Montana, Tom.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you might have to. You might watch my Facebook on that. I put the show out about running into these two ET encounters, but I know they're there. I've known since I was
Right. Right.
13 years of age. And why are they holding everything back? And it's like with you with the Matrix. I think they're a little afraid of letting the information about the Matrix because that's probably what we're in, right?
Right. Well, in a sense, we are, but it's again, they strip it down to something simplified. We are in a matrix in the sense of dimensions, but not in the sense of what people simplify it into.
Mhm.
It's not as simple as plug a light bulb into a toaster,
Right.
like those graphics. It is much more complex. We're in a controlled environment manufactured basically around us to contain us on the way we think and operate, cause and effect, which is reflected in the Matrix story, my own work. But actually, what we are is a biologicals in a biological universe
Mhm.
that was created by other beings on a dimension up. And so, are we in a created environment? Yes, we're in a created environment. And we're still on the small mind mentality of how it was pictured in ancient times.
Mhm.
When angels look like, I mean, flying orbs look like angels. We don't really, we haven't updated our vocabulary. We're
Right.
still using ancient vocabulary to
Yes.
describe phenomena, which we can now use in a much higher degree of analytical,
History is
processing.
and
And
history is a big lie. I mean, they've been lying to us about history.
it's like Dr. Seuss. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's like, I mean, really, if you ask somebody, what is alien technology? It's green eggs and ham. Nobody really is talking in an updated language, in layers. And our layered thinkers, the ones that us that think in layers that can create great work, those that can't create that get jealous, or they say, this can't be, or it's a fluke. Or even Disney asked me on the phone, the one Disney attorney said, how do we know you're not just a two-hit wonder? I've been creating things since I've been five,
Mhm.
and it's like I believe I was tapped to receive these things. I don't feel exceptionally smart, but when I was tested gifted genius. And two things struck me, Dave. I may have said this before. Maybe you feel the same way too, because I know you're super smart. I felt like either the world is super, super dumb, or something happened to make me be able to function this way, where it feels at a normal level. Because I feel like everybody should be at my level here.
Yeah, I
You know?
feel that way about you, Tom. I know that when you talk about the Matrix, you were ahead of time. And that's probably what you just said a while ago. You're in the elite area, and they know that
As
because
they say,
of
yeah.
your thoughts that you transcended into all this Matrix and immortal stuff, and also the world is a physical mass, and then somebody's controlling it. We've got
Mhm,
ETs that are
mhm.
controlling it. I know
Right.
that too. They've controlled me. I'm also involved with an organization that's a ET ambassador headquarters. It's going to be in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a Professor Roshan. They just matter of fact, I interviewed him a couple of nights ago, and he at the end of the show wanted me to come on board with their staff and their crew, and so I'm doing the same thing with them, podcasting and interviewing people for them. So that's a great organization. They got all the countries involved in the world all
Fantastic.
together, and they're building this. They got $50 million in the bank now for building this project. It's going to be a
Right.
big project in
Right.
Canada. And I said, well, I asked his name, Sylvain Rushan, professor, and he's got another partner, Danielle, that's one of the head guys with the organization, and they've got contacts with Saudi Arabia, the prince, the princesses of Spain, and all this stuff. So a lot
Right.
of countries are getting involved in this because they know it's coming. There's
Right.
going to be
Right.
disclosure whether they like it or not, and I want to get on board on that project, so I'm working with them. Being an old man, I'm too damn busy, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. My job is to simplify everything. I know that, to make it palatable. I think that's one of the reasons I was picked to get all this information downloads, is to make it palatable. But think of it in this way. The suits at Warner Brothers, if you look at the Matrix story, the suits at Warner Brothers said, we know we have something cool, we don't understand it, right? And so they never, Wachowski's, Joel Silver, none of them ever understood the work. So how are they supposed to understand alien stuff and everything else if those that are being credited with our work don't understand it? But those of us in the public that do get that idea that everyone has a value are X'd out. But we should be included. We should be the ones that, if they walked us into a room and said, here's alien tech, we'd probably figure it out in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
We would know in sense and layers and be able to figure things out. So it's not like the movies where they bring these kids in and they'll figure it out. They actually keep the kids out.
yeah.
They may bring in their aunts and uncles and nephews, but they don't it's nepotism. They don't bring in the actual brains, and they shut them down and give it to failed people so they can have control of
Right.
everything. That's the main thing. They want control of everything. And it's
Our
insane.
last administration.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything that happened to me, like you're talking about what I've gone through, is because I wrote that piece and I have these aptitudes. My son has them, my mom has them. So, it's like that's why we're put upon.
Yeah.
But then you get this idea where it's not all just men in black coming at you. You got agencies that are helping you while you have agencies that are fighting you. They're not in agreement, are they? So if they're all about control and power, they're going to be battling each other.
Okay.
And then you go back to the FBI statement where they only go after those who go after them.
Yeah.
It's one big mess. I mean, they must be laughing at us and the other universes
Yeah.
because what a mess we've made of this planet because we don't let our own drive that know how to drive.
Maybe they might come here and change things around and enlighten us a little
I
bit.
think they are going to do that.
Yeah.
You ask me what's coming. Yeah.
Now, how did the Immortals and the Matrix come together, congeal? I mean, you wrote them both, but what was the differences between the two, and how did you expand on that and go into the Matrix? I guess I'm asking Tom. People want to know how you're thinking. I do.
Okay.
I'm always asking.
Let's do it this way. I'm going to make it easy for people. All right, Mary. That's my job to make it easy. So that's why I'm that quandary of like, he seems not that bright, but he's tested gifted genius. Okay. So maybe that's why they picked dumb Wachowskis to do it, to fit that kind of idea. But you actually do have to be smart. What you do is you have to look at the process of how it's been taken. Now you reverse engineer, just like alien tech. Reverse engineer the theft process, and you'll get the meaning of the work that they stripped away and didn't understand themselves. Now, here's what I mean. What they did was they lifted the work by taking everything they thought was cool. Here's the actual Library of Congress mailer. So everything they thought was cool from the original work, they lifted into a visual storyboard. So my point right away is you can't get the ideas by watching The Matrix. What you're getting with The Matrix is regurgitation and vomit, basically, be colorful, of small minds that didn't understand it, that were taking what they thought was cool and then mixing what they're familiar with, like, Dark City, Train Man from Ghost, Alice in Wonderland, and spitting it back up into a bucket. That's The Matrix. So I would advise people, don't watch The Matrix to try to understand it. You're watching small minds and their regurgitation of what they didn't understand, sticking what they're familiar with in such a bad, cheap, laughable way.
Yeah.
So yes, the Matrix is cool because it had cool stuff in it, which they said, we know it's cool, we don't understand it, was the suit said. Here's what you do. You look at it and see what was lifted, all the visuals that were lifted in that storyboard, and you put it back the way it's supposed to be in the original work, and you'll understand it that way. You'll understand the visuals, like example, train station scene. Train station scene in their regurgitation has no liquid mirrors. They've got Trey Man from Ghost inserted. They've got a well-dressed couple with a little girl. Bear with me.
Mhm.
And they're going to put her in a train station into the Matrix so she can somehow be saved or something.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense. You got Neo running down a train station corridor and coming back, but they don't show what happened between. And we're supposed to think that's cool. This is small mind monkeying and chop shopping a scene that was cool. Then in their fan page, bear with me. In their fan page, they say the train station scene and the little girl are just a subplot, and that's it. Now let's look at the train station scene from the original author's point of view. What they took and ripped apart. You ready?
Mhm.
Here's how this is what how people can do this. Don't watch Matrix. Come back to the original. Here's what the original is. In the original, there's two train station scenes. Both are important. The reason there's one in the Matrix, to save on the budget. Sorry to bust bubbles. That's it.
Really?
And little girl at the train station with a well-dressed couple, it's supposed to be haggard people, crowds of haggard people trying to push their kids into a better life in the program they'll never see again. See the difference?
Mm.
And again, why they put the well-dressed couple with one little girl? To save on the budget.
Yeah.
See what's going on here?
Yeah.
There's no brilliance, no genius, only robbing people of the original message and story. So this is how you can get it back what it means. Okay, what's missing also from the train station scene? Remember, they lifted everything they thought was cool in the visual storyboard, made up as they went along, as they went on set, right? That's why a 20-foot rule, stay with me, that you can't be within 20 feet seeing this happen or you're fired. Back to the train station. What else they do? The liquid mirrors at Morpheus's smoking room, saving on the budget, was actually at the train station. The liquid mirrors are at the train station. Rows of liquid mirrors that if you take the red pill is the bad pill. They reverse that too. Everything's messed up with their fingers in the pot. You can pass through the mirrors. Only those that take the red pill can pass through the liquid mirrors at the train station. Ergo, that's why there's a crowd of people that are not red pilled, not with the architect's pill, longevity, crowding it. It's the only entrance way into the Matrix. So they're crowding it. Poor people, not well-dressed people. There was a producer that pointed out to me from Hollywood. He called me. He said, Tom, did you realize it's well-dressed people? I said, I didn't think of that. That's true. If it's well-dressed people, there's no stakes. Why are you sending your child in? What's the point? If it's haggard people that their kids are starving outside the program, they're going to push their kids in. And they actually did it right in I Am Legend with Will Smith, who was supposed to be Neo. They did my scene properly and ripped it off there in I Am Legend. Now, back. This is how they do it, right? To the T. So what happens is liquid mirrors, if you take the red pill, let's keep going with this, okay? You can pass through. There's a scene in it where a man tries to pass through following a red-pilled person, and he gets cut in half, stuck like resin in the mirrors when they reform. That was a pretty cool scene. So they put it in Darling in the Franxx, which is Sony and Warner Brothers out of University of Berkeley produced Crunchyroll. And so that's where they put in that scene where the clothes are torn off the guy. Isn't this incredible? See how the pieces come together?
1943 incident that where they magnetize this boat, try to make it disappear. I can't think of the name of it. It escapes me right now. But
right.
Same thing. People were stuck in metal. Everything.
Yeah. Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the train station too. This is good. So you see what's going on here, though, Dave? You see what's going on? How they lifted everything out. But tell me more about the 1941. So you can say they're stuck in resin?
1943, they magnetized this battleship, a small battleship. I can't think of the name of it. And what happened was they were trying to make it disappear. So it'd be, the enemy couldn't see it. And actually the ship did disappear, but it left and went about 300 or 400 miles up north on the eastern seaboard. And they were seen there. And then when they got back, they were stuck in the metal because of the heat, and the magnetism stirred up the electrical, heat, and the energy of that whole ship was just on fire. And a lot of these guys died, and a lot of guys had some bad ill effects, but they didn't. They kind of covered that. They buried that whole thing. So that was part. I'm gonna have to think the name of that. It just escapes me, but I.
That's all right. It'll come.
Yeah,
but you got.
What about the blue pill?
Well, let me tell you first about the train station. Let me finish that one for you, and then we'll go to Blue Pill. Remind me, because I do want to talk about the Blue Pill. But let me finish up. Remember, there's two train station scenes.
Yes.
Just for your listeners. So it's like that's the first train station scene is the little girl being pushed forward, and there's a reason for the little girl being pushed forward. They said just a subplot. It reminds Neo of the daughter he just lost, which they put that scene in Interstellar. Because what happens is he's put in the field of pods, right? The field of pods. He's brought back, and he's told by Smith, who the architect sends to mentor him in the Matrix. That's how it's supposed to be. They didn't understand that. Smith is supposed to mentor Neo to work within the Matrix, not Morpheus. Smith, the architect, does this on purpose because he knows they hate each other, and that stimulates the architect's mind to have them hating each other. But then Neo feels like he at least owes Smith something because he at least saved his daughter, he thinks. Because he finds out his daughter, in the 70 years he's been in the field of pods and the stasis, stay with me, that he isn't allowed to see any family members. He goes and sees her. And there's your Interstellar scene with the unaged father going to see his daughter. Neo goes to see his daughter. She's 76 years old with Alzheimer's, talking about a man had pulled her out of the fire. They put it in Interstellar about the aged, astronaut going back. Christopher Nolan did that, his brother, which is what a guy who ripped me off at Universal Studios when I first submitted to Universal Studios. So what you have is that's lifted off to another section. But the Wachowskis didn't want the relationship between the daughter and Neo, but it's very important for the ending. The reason the ending is so important when the Wachowskis said, we want to keep the same ending, and everybody said to blow it up, is because the ending only works if that's Neo's daughter being restored to him, hugging him and pointing to the sun. It doesn't work if she's hugging the Oracle. They didn't want the relationship. So it doesn't work to have the same ending if you take out the relationship between Neo and his daughter being restored to 6 years old again. See what I'm saying?
No, I think they were rewriting that to get around your script.
That's what they do, and and they ruined the story. And everybody said to blow it up. So everybody on set was smarter that was not allowed within 20 feet to have it that way. Everybody said blow it up. Why was there an argument, Dave, on how to end it if you have a full script in hand, vetted and cleared? They didn't. They had this script in hand, and they were making it up as they go along off this script, as the fight choreographer told me, the lead fight choreographer. He said let me get this out first. He said, this is what was on set along with a visual storyboard. So there you go. And that's the 1998 one. That's the 1998 version right there, 1998 version. Using 99 on set. So there's no way around this. We're going to win. We are going to win like champions. There's no way in heaven or hell we can lose this fight. Okay, there's no way we can lose this case with legitimate attorneys. Yeah.
What other government agencies besides CIA are maybe supporting this cause? Is there any political ideology involved here also?
There is congressional figures and senators and at state level and things like this. I've done different conferences where they were present with their wives, and they were crying and giving standing ovations when they saw this evidence. So what we have is, I think, when you just answered a question for me, why was the stuff restored 2 days before Easter? Because I had just done conventions speaking to congressional leaders where their wives and them were standing and crying and applauding, standing ovations. So I think they're saying, yeah, let's support the original author. Let's get it done. They want to see it the way it originally was written. So it's actually art inspiring good decisions.
Right.
So now it's like the floodgates are opening, and you're seeing these resignations by these clowns. So that are in like Warner Brothers and the FBI especially. The FBI's are the most staunch holdouts. You know why the FBI is the staunch holdout on doing the right thing? Because they're the ones that are responsible for protecting the writers. And instead, when you see all those film warnings and disclaimers in the front of films that say FBI will give prison terms and penalties if you do not, it's FBI's responsible for protecting their Praetorian Guard. And what they're doing instead is turning on us. And they do not want that revealed because they made a habit of it. They made a fortune burning writers for decades. And now they don't want to turn around because they're too guilty. They're too dirty hands. They do not want to turn around. Yeah.
Tom, when you have this case, and let's say, and I'm hoping for you, and we've been talking, I think the last
I'm very certain. Yeah.
For the shows, when you win this case,
Yeah.
Then you're going to go back to episode one and then two, three, and four. You're going to be financially compensated, right? And
Oh
there,
yeah, I'm told we're worth over 2.1 billion just in the story alone. Yeah.
and then you're going to be writing episode five, probably, maybe.
I already have two. They screwed up everything. So we're gonna. It's the wild thing you just said. They want to go back to two because they said the Wachowskis screwed it up. That means the Wachowskis didn't write it. See,
Mhm.
I want to go to number two and do it right. So make the Immortals the way it is, and I have a two basically ready to go, which is even better than the one.
Those are
So
the
that's
ones
another
you
thing.
said in the past that they were after, and they wanted them,
Yeah,
and
yeah, they wanted
I
those.
wasn't going to let it go.
Well,
Yeah.
no, we're good. We're fine. We're good. We got everything. The
Okay.
drafts being restored is huge. They're restored. So now they even restored the notes. They restored the notes. Like right here is a whole series of notes they restored along with the scripts
Right.
that are all about the neural link and everything else. And it's incredible what's in here that I had forgotten about, where there's a face-off between Smith, Neo, and Trinity, where Trinity doesn't realize that she was married to Neo, that little girl,
Mhm.
and that Smith has made her neural link such, the Jackson neck, that her memories restore after she shoots Neo. So after she goes to harm Neo, Smith comes out of the shadows, lurking from behind the shadows to watch. And Trinity's like, why are you here? And he's basically saying that the memories will now be coming back. He
Okay.
wanted to see her take out. It's an amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing scene.
Yeah.
And they put it in Sense 8. They
Yeah.
opened with Sense 8 with it, with
You
the
mentioned
Wachowski throw, better case throw.
you mentioned Neuralink. That
Yeah.
brings up Elon Musk. You
See,
mentioned
no,
him.
Elon Musk didn't come up with it. Elon Musk didn't come up with it. I called it Neuro Enhancer, and Warner Brothers gave Neuro Enhancer through Paramount. They sent their official who handled my stuff to Paramount, and they called it Neuralink. Elon didn't come up with the name of it. He didn't file it. He didn't come up with the name of it. It was done by the studios, and just like the Wachowskis were given this screenplay to steal, it was Elon Musk that was brought in to steal the Neuralink tech. And so he didn't come up with it. He's not that bright. He didn't come up with it at all. He's got the South African accent, doesn't understand the tech, did it badly. And so he's by the president's side, by the studios and the FBI putting him there. And it's a very dangerous thing for President Trump to have Elon Musk anywhere near him, because they're setting him up to take the fall. And Elon Musk is supposed to, by popular demand, be asked to step in. It's scary. We've got a very bad situation. Elon Musk should be in prison. He should be in prison.
There's so
He's not
many.
a good guy.
There's so many directions what we're going in now. Like you said, scary times, and they are. They're
There
political,
is. Yeah.
ideology, religion-wise, the whole
They're
thing.
pushing the final solution. They're pushing. Why does Elon go like this?
Yeah.
That means the final solution, X, to eliminate the population. Every time he puts it in front of your face, he's made to do that.
Mhm.
And he's promised beautiful women and a reset and the life of luxury when he's not that smart. If you put Elon and me as the writer onto a show, we can run circles around him easily. They will not want it. You need to have him scripted. He'll be playing with the silverware. He
Yeah.
doesn't even know how to do this stuff. He doesn't know how to think it through.
Now let's
So,
talk about. There's been some, I guess, people have said, even his ex-wife said he was strange when she wrote her book, and that he could have been an ET, or he's an ET. What do you think about that, Tom?
I think he's just I think he's a brute. I think he's a bully. I think when he was in school, he was a bully. They tried to make it like he was innocent. That is not an innocent party. That's a bully. I think he was a bully, and they tried to make him as like the Wachowskis got credit for the work, he got credit for the tech. So I just think he's not that bright. He's mean. He's egotistical. He's self-centered, and he is wanting to have everything he can. It's like exactly the model they want to steal work. So so I would say, he's a low-level type of human.
He
So.
turned on Trump real quick and said some really bad things about Trump. And I guess they kissed and made up. I don't know.
Well, that would be a mistake by Trump. Very big mistake by President Trump if he lets him back in. It'd be a very dangerous thing to do, because Elon is there with an agenda, and it's not his agenda. It's the agenda of the studios and FBI.
He said
FBI would like to eliminate a certain president. and have that way they can protect themselves from oversight. I know this.
Mhm.
So we're in a very bad situation where the FBI should be defunded and disbanded. They are not a good organization. They are an organization that is predatory, and they were formed during World War II, and if I'm not mistaken, and they're into espionage. They consider citizens enemies of the state,
Mhm.
and they go after those of us that are actually anybody that might reveal them. They're going after. That's a dangerous organization.
Yeah.
So if you have dirt on the FBI, you're on their hit list.
Right. Yeah. I
That's how it
I
works.
don't even want to mess with those people because
I'm just saying that's the way it
yeah,
is.
they
That's
kind
the
of
way it is.
they've
That's the way
been
it is.
I know they've been harassing you over the
All the
years.
time.
Yeah.
All the time.
But
All-
I guess they're told not to go all the way or whatever,
Their job now is I'm too public, they said. I'm too public. So what they want to do is put me away. They want to somehow get me put away and say, oh, he thinks he wrote The Matrix. Well, I'm the only guy with the real copyright. They don't have a copyright in The Matrix. In fact, Warner Bros. Says they're not even claiming the Matrix title. They're claiming the Immortals title, mine. So what you have is they want to put me away and they use my son as leverage, and say, oh, put me away and then say, okay, if you behave yourself, you can see your son.
Yeah.
It's like, I already know the game. I know the game, what's in place. And they have my brother who got he's a failed architect. And so the Disney World gave him the Sheraton to work on a little bit, like little pitty things like down there, remodeling projects to throw him a bone.
Yeah.
And so the plan is that if anything happened to me, then my brother, Jack, who's a pedophile, practicing pedophile, will be able to say that he created this, I stole it from him, he'll claim, and that he made it for Disney. Then Disney and Warner Brothers walks away because Jack will be able to say, get all the fame and rewards that he wants, including kids, and say, yeah, I wrote this for Disney, so it's not stolen. I wrote it for Warner Brothers, so it's not stolen. Tom stole it from me. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, you
What a twist.
you got
Yeah.
you got enemies and a family surrounding
All
you.
through the family. My mom's down here with me in Texas now, and so is my son Aiden. They're both doing fantastic. We got him out of Pennsylvania, where Fitzpatrick, the FBI congressman, rules, and where they took the shot at the president. And
How's
so
Aiden,
they're safe down here.
how's
Yeah,
Aiden doing? Is he a writer like you?
driving. He can do anything.
Mhm.
I mean, music, piano, varsity soccer, pals, straight A's, and mechanical engineering. He does it all. I'm so proud of him. He did it all.
Speaking of
He put-
family, I know the last couple of times we talked, you said that some of the Matrix scenes were made up by your birth date and by your father or something. There's
Yeah,
parts in the movie that
yeah,
actually took it
yeah,
from your family history.
yeah.
Could you tell
All
us
through
about
it. Yeah, that's what made Sophia Stewart so upset is that the insider at a guy at the story department at Warner Brothers, he contacted me right when this is all breaking out, and he said, "Yeah, look at that first graphic, and you can see it on TomOldHouse.com. A website's been made for me now. They named it TomOldHouse.com,
Mhm.
made it easier for me to remember." And on it, you'll see that interrogation scene graphic, and in it, we found even more stuff right from before, and it was my high school, Central West. My dad's name, John A., is on the rap sheet that they flip on the folder. My fiance's birthday, Chica Ball's birthday, was March 11th, is Neo's birthday. My birthday's above it. My name, Thomas A., as Neo's name. In the column, it says TA 4099. My marital status, my aptitudes, everything's on that sheet. Everything is on that sheet. So that's why Sophia Stewart was so upset that I was tuned into that. Because I would never have known it was there. It's in for a split second upside down. First scene they shot. First graphic they made. Now, it's not the first scene in the movie. It's the first scene they shot out of order,
Right.
right? Because that scene comes later. But they shot it first. And it was to show that information on the author. They're so stupid. So it's supposed to mock the author. And the guy who called me from the story department said, yeah, it's supposed to, they didn't like it. They hate you because they don't understand the story. They're mocking you. He told me all about it.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize that the birthday for Neo was my fiance's birthday at the time. He didn't have that part. So now we know that too, March 11th. Isn't that incredible?
No.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
it's known all through the studios. Yeah.
Well, let's relate the Matrix story and where you got it from.
Sure.
And I think like you had some ET involvement or something.
Yeah.
Out.
Oh, I would have to say that for sure. Yeah.
And Tesla said the same thing, that everything comes
Yeah.
from outside in. Our brain doesn't make it up, it comes in.
And you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I couldn't turn it off. I wanted to be a farmer and I couldn't turn it off. It just kept coming. It was always right too. Even the fake Oval Office is in the original, in Underground.
Mhm.
You know, it's all there. And incidentally, the Wachowskis kept the key turning to blow the tunnels one time, They shouldn't have kept that. That was a dumb idea. But it's in there. I believe it was meant to be there so that they would do that and be another reveal, another mistake carried over. So, but yes, I was like, it just all just kept coming, where I was just writing it like I'm being dictated to. It was incredible. I could see it, hear it, live it, in it. And I just was writing as fast as I could. It was incredible.
Hey,
I
for
would, yeah.
the people out there wondering about the Matrix, and they're thinking, a lot of people are saying we're in a Matrix now. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
What do you see? Where are we heading from what your thoughts are about the Matrix, and which direction is our human race heading and this world heading?
Oh, okay. This is fun. We're heading to a beautiful direction. A beautiful direction. Think of bad people driving your parents' car, and you get to take over, and we get to drive the car. Those of us that actually care, the true family. So we're going to drive the car. We're going to set where things go, how things are done, how animals, everything is treated. We have a good future coming where those that think in layers, we're tapped with this idea to think in layers, feel in layers. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. I think they do. So when you feel in layers, it's like this. You might have like hope, compassion, love, adoration, endearment, all at the same time.
Mhm.
Only positives, all feeling at the same time. We have the ability to do that. And then you're looking at your loved ones and you're showing all those layers at once. Directors understand this, right? That's how I got all these awards for performance. I layered in the feelings. And so when you have just positive and your mind is cleared of any negative, you can create beautiful work and do it as a service for humanity. That's one layer. The other thing is by feeling those layers at once, children understand that. Animals understand that. I've had deer walk up to me, squirrels walk up to me, birds land on me. It's like they used to joke that I was Thomas Aquinas or whatever. It's like, but it was simply because they saw layered feelings that could be trusted. And in the mix of it, it creates an embodiment of something that beings pick up on, including, I believe, extraterrestrials. They pick
Enlightenment.
up on the ability for layered, powerful, positive combinations.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like dying an Easter egg.
I had
Yeah.
that experience in Las Vegas when we visited my wife's friends. They had a cat. They had two cats, but one cat would never come out.
Right.
And I looked at her friends and I said, "I'll bring him out."
Yeah.
So I went up to the stairs and I called him out, kind of moved my hand, and he come up close to me and he's just staring at me. And her friend said, "Wow, he's never done that."
Right.
I said, "Well,
See,
it's
animals can spot.
enlightenment,
Yeah.
consciousness. It's what it's. They know, they see you, and they know you're not a threat to them. You're enlightened, and
Right.
you're
It's
enlightened
yeah.
to them." Yeah,
You're that's right. That's right. That's why we're friends, I think, because we have layers of able to communicate layers.
right.
And when people can practice this with each other too, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it shuts the door. Like these other guys in power, they don't have it. They don't have it at all. They're
Mm.
feeling basically one thing at a time. It's like worse than kindergarten, where we're able to feel multiples at a time. So we're more dynamic.
Yeah.
We're more interesting.
Well,
We're more
politicians
creative.
are after two
Yeah.
things: power and votes. Our
Yeah.
votes and power. Yeah.
If you're into power too, and if you're into power, you don't have layers of feeling. You don't have layers of feeling. It's power. Going for power is one thing that strips the layer process, and you suddenly become one thing because it's like trying to grab a banana. You're no longer feeling, you're going for something, and it's dark. When you have layered feeling, let's say my only intention is for Dave and I to connect as good friends, and I'm going to give Dave the sense of a feeling of appreciation. Now I'm going to give you the feeling of appreciation, and I feel it on my body, appreciation and dedication. Appreciation, dedication, and a sense of loyalty.
Yeah.
Appreciation, dedication, loyalty, and a love.
Yeah. You know,
Add
after.
on, these layers
Yeah.
are all good layers, and it affects your chemistry.
Yeah. And when you meet
So,
enlightened people, you never forget them. It's just like you. I think about you every once in a while, even this
right.
past 11 months that we haven't done a show. And I wanted to get back with you and talk
And
to do
it
a show.
translates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got down to that. I want to ask you, are the ETs extraterrestrials going to be involved in this You said something about a reset. What do you
Yes,
mean by a
yes.
reset, Tom?
Well, you've got the temporal one and the one out there in the universe. And let's go to the universe first. We are being judged by a body of beings. And I was shown that when I first was supposed to write the Matrix, when I was first given the downloads, before I got the downloads. They're seeing if we are worth it. Are we able to have this layered thinking, layered feeling, and emulate that? Like the movie's got it wrong. It's not if we show love. No, it's if we show love, compassion, humility, gentleness, a spectrum. If we're able to embody the spectrum, not just love, the spectrum,
Yeah.
then we are worthy. It's almost like the Bible saying, show me one or two good ones and I won't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. It's like that kind of thing. And so humanity is going to be all right because what happens is the creative work comes out of that. Keep in mind, I wanted to be a farmer. I wasn't going to be a writer.
Mhm.
This work that I've shown you
Yeah.
comes from that, me being endowed that way, which means any of us can do it. If we choose, instead of power, compassion, humility, and those kind of layers. So that's the universal one.
How
That's the
about
universal one.
how about
Yeah.
us right now? A lot of people are saying we're fighting evil. It's good fighting evil right now, and it could be political or geopolitical, whatever's going on in the world. You know, what do you feel about that? Was that part of the Matrix thought too?
It's a trick question. Yeah, it's like a trick. It's a very important thing you just asked. Because the way you defeat evil is to do what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's to embody these things. Then evil has no room. If evil has no room in us, and we actually truly do embrace humility and compassion, things like that, we are one sphere that is separated from evil. And then we meet more of us that are separated from evil. Evil, really, you have to defeat, if you do it like a battlefield scenario, where I'm going to go out and defeat evil on a battlefield, well, then I'm part of evil's playground. I'm part of their playing field.
Mhm.
I have become part of evil by fighting evil, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
My chemistry changes. If I'm going to remain with great compassion, humility, and create, and evil's locked outside the door, I envision us like going to different planets or different islands or create communities that are pure in heart.
Mhm.
Like I said on Roseanne Barr's show,
Yeah.
it's like if we create more and more, two or three more together, whatever, that actually are pure, actually have compassion, humility, all those layers, then we create a dynamic universe worth noting, even by terrestrial and
Yeah.
extraterrestrials.
If
But yeah,
killers had compassion, they wouldn't kill. I mean, that's part of that layered thing you're talking about, and that's what the world. And you got these rulers like Putin, who's sending thousands and thousands of soldiers to their death. And I think Trump is right about that. He's tired of seeing death and dying and killing and around the world, and it's going on now. We need to stop it, but we need to get to where you're talking about, that
mhm.
like the consciousness that you're talking about, and I think that's very important for people to hear that this is where you're coming from, for your
It could
heart is
save us
coming
all.
from.
It could
Yeah.
save us all. I mean, we could have the extraterrestrials step in, and we're worth saving at that point. Now, there's a temporal thing to this too, where even the agencies, like we talked about earlier, you said which agencies and such, we're being judged also as a society. Are we worth saving? There's the real question. When Elon flashes this, it means final solution. Eliminate a large part of the population. It's in the Matrix story. Eliminate a large part of the population so the elite can have a utopia with longevity. If you have longevity, which Stanford, IBM already perfected, basically, or getting it perfected, you don't need a large population. So unless you're sending them to different planets, we're not there yet. So there's going to be an extermination cycle unless something's done. So that's why I've been an advocate for the common people, as they call them. It's like, regular society is what they should be called, genuine society. So, but they have a plan to eliminate them because longevity just for the elite, and they're thinking along the idea of control and power. They don't want the others to rise up. But those of us that have the layered feelings are considered anomalies, like Neo, Trinity, in the story.
Well,
So they don't know what to do with it. Go ahead.
in our history, we've been taught religion and the Bible and this and that, and now they're saying that not a lot of that's true. It was used to put fear into us, and to stop us and have us have control of us. I feel that way, but also in your thinking with the Matrix and writing the Matrix, how did religion, ideology all come together in the Matrix? And what does it have anything to do with it? Is it
Such a
religion
great
is
question.
divided? The religion
Yes.
is divided, like Muslims and Christians.
Religion is very key in the story. Now, get this. I think in layers. So I'm going to give you layers for this. I'll try to convey it, okay? That's my job. The people that are in the program with the red pill, which is the bad pill based on Blood of the Children for a longevity program. Red is bad. The blue pill is not offered the same time as the red pill. The blue pill is offered later in Underground by Morpheus, only the blue pill, to get Neo back in the program. Doesn't it make sense? And that's a synthetic pill with painful side effects. Now, here's the deal. So grasp that. So those that are red pilled are bad. They're the elite, right? They're red pilled. Longevity based on Blood of the Children, adrenochrome, all that. That's in the original story. So they reverse it. Everybody says they're red pilled. Everybody says they're red pilled. You're wrong. It's not good. You're saying I support ingesting the blood of the children because Hollywood flipped it on you. Stop saying that. You're not. You're not red pilled. That does not waken you. That's bad. That means you want children exploited. Okay, which the train station scene reflects too. Those that are in the immortal program, the elite, the Smiths, all those other guys, do not believe in religion. But the people outside the program in Zion have many, many different belief systems as a collective religion, kind of smorgasbord. Mm-hmm. And that's important to the story. Whether we say, and as an author, I left it open, whether that's good or not doesn't matter. It's a thing that gives them hope. All right. Those in the program mock them as short lifers, and they mock them on their beliefs. What I believe was given to me by God, if you will, is that faith should be celebrated. Our ability for faith brings us together. Religion does not. Faith brings us together.
Spirituality.
If we all celebrate each other's ability to have faith, we have separated ourselves from those that are red pilled, this is bad, and we protect the children. We're protecting the children. So that's what it was. But religion is important in the original work. And the Wachowskis actually stopped doing interviews. The reason they stopped doing interviews is they were asked the question at a gala. I think it was a church even, a gala event, where their last question was, it seems like Christianity is in the piece. Did you intend Christianity to be in the movie? And their answer was, that's all the time we have for questions. And they didn't want to do questions again. And Joel Silver said that they were embarrassed to talk about it and didn't want to do interviews anymore. So interesting that they didn't want to touch one of the most key elements in the work to make it make sense. The only hope that the people outside the program have, this is run down, for their kids and everything else, besides the train station hope, is religion. Mm-hmm. So it's key. Whether it's good, bad, right, or wrong, it gives hope.
And also,
so let the people have their hope, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't knock people for their beliefs. Right. I don't knock that. I celebrate their ability to have faith.
Right.
I will not receive their tracts or their preaching. I will stand by. I want to keep my platter clear of any constructs. No one's going to tell me what to believe because I want to keep it open. Yes. And then it'll be revealed to me. And that's what happened in the Matrix story. It was revealed to me. Yeah. So that's what we need to do. That makes sense?
Yeah, the Matrix and this, you have meditation also and spirituality that actually covers religion. A lot of
I've got thoughts on that too, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Tell us about spiritualism. I mean, you mentioned everything around us.
All right, here you go.
Manifestation. I've always been approached with that, and it sounds like you manifested this whole thing.
Yes, I was taught how to. So here's going to make some people very angry because the supplied attorney said he practiced yoga all the time. Right? Sure you did. Here's the deal. And I'm not knocking anything again. I'm going to lay it out, what I believe. Mm-hmm. If you take your mind and try to empty it, that is the wrong way to go. It's like the architect in the program. You need to stimulate your mind. Stimulate your mind. You don't want to shut your battery down.
Yes.
If you have meditation where you're going, I'm going to clear my mind, you are fooling yourself. You're not going to develop properly. If you do this where you go, I'm going to stimulate my mind with positive elements layered in and practice those layers of positive feelings and expression and communicating between each other, even silently of positive, you're on the right track. It's stimulation. Don't empty your mind. Emptying the mind is based on fear, basically, that you need to clear your mind of fear or from anything you're afraid of. Don't empty your mind. Strengthen it. enliven it.
Mhm.
It's Alzheimer's comes from lack of stimulation. Stimulate your mind.
Yeah.
Stimulate it with what's positive and layered in positive. And watch the animals come out of the forest. They will.
Yeah.
And watch children respond to you at the supermarket. They want to, come up to you.
Right.
It's like in a good way because they can trust you because it's
Yeah.
all positive there. And we have that language formed. So I would say meditation where you're emptying your mind is garbage. You don't want to take it from the guy that wrote the Matrix story that actually did it. Maybe the Wachowskis will do that and the attorney that provided me would do that. I would add up because they're garbage.
Did manifestation have anything to do with the Matrix in the making of it? They manifest all these little, things that you talked about that they reversed on you on your original story.
Right.
Now, does like Keanu Reeves, is he manifesting a lot of this stuff and dreaming this up as he goes, as you wrote it, Tom?
That's a great question. Mine is more, again, connected to real human compassion, concern, trying to whisper through art what may lift us as a group of society, a species. And so in mine, it's such a great question. The tech, say the Surrey tech in it, right? Where he has the neural links connected to Surrey. Watch for that future thing anyway. You're going to see Surrey and Neuralink combined. Right, they're in different companies, right? Like Microsoft and whatever, and Apple, and given to Elon, right? We shouldn't even have it. His grubby paws on it. But the thing is, like, you're going to see those combined because that's the way they're intended to be. So the Neuralink will function with the Surrey, and they're now going to make the Surrey personalized as it is in the original Matrix story, my story, where it's personalized. Now, here's the story behind it I want to share with you, which I think will answer the question. What causes that to manifest is the need. The need. Grab that, hold that, tuck that in the head. The need is what creates the tech. Example, Surrey comes from, originally, the Neo character having lost his wife, who's reprogrammed by the Smith to be his, and then take him out like a Femme Nikita later with that scene I just described, much more layers. Wachowski's robbed society of so much. Whole generations have gone and died and not seen it. Not even known. Red pill bad. Okay, so out of his need over the loss of his wife, he reprograms his systems, his Neuralink in his home and everything to her voice, mannerisms. Spielberg put this in also, Minority Report. He mocked me. Where you replay everything. So if I talk to my TV, it has my wife who I lost her voice, her mannerisms. She'll call me dear. She'll say, honey, the programs are on that you asked for. That's the Surrey of the future. They're heading that way now. Personalized one. They did a bad job with the first one. They didn't follow the script right. So it comes out of a man having lost his loved ones, reprogramming everything around him, which could be considered sort of flawed in his nature, which is fine, quirky, that he's done it all so he's never, ever away from her. And then at the end, he's rejoined with her. It's not just the little girl that appears. It's his wife that appears at the end also. Yeah.
That's
I think it's kind of cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's layered thinking, like you said, and layered in consciousness. Yes, I really enjoy that. I wanted to get in the nitty gritty this first time. I wanted to get into your mind and what you're thinking and how you think, because this is gonna let people know who you really are, and where your thoughts are coming from. Okay, we got about 5 or 10 more minutes. I don't want to go too much past an hour because I might be.
Well, I'll give you the key then. Do you want the key of what I feel that drives me?
Okay.
Yeah, I never talked about it.
I want to talk about Roseanne Barr. Like,
oh, okay.
Damn, Tom. Shit, Tom, you ought to do that.
Well, you keep leading me into these really cool things. I'm like, there you go. I never talked about that before. Okay,
go ahead, Tom. Turn loose.
Well, the key is I want people to be happy. There it is, right there. I knew our society was sick. I want people to be happy, get along. And one guy even said to me, this choreographer on Maui said, you want everybody to hold hands. I'm like, yeah, I do. No problem. What's wrong with that? I want us to be a society that evolves where we can't even imagine the loss of anyone. And that it's okay. What's wrong with that? Warner Brothers believes the opposite. I don't. So I whispered through art to try to create that kind of world. The Matrix is supposed to echo that kind of world. They have atheists take it and spin it around into something dark. It's not supposed to be Neo and Trinity having sex in a cave, in a rave cave. It's supposed to be that people are actually striving together, all ethnic groups, all different faiths and beliefs, working together to defeat and have a world of peace and beauty. Anyway, go ahead with your question.
Go ahead. All right. let's talk about Roseanne Barr. You've
All
had
right.
some run-ins with her. I know she's feisty. I mean, she said cuss words I don't want to say, but I just
I
said
love
a
her.
couple a while
I
ago.
love her.
But she
Yes.
is very forceful. How did she feel about you, and what direction she think that you should go, and did she offer any clues or any influencers
Yeah.
that could help
Yeah.
you? Did she?
Yes and yes and yes and yes,
Okay, go
all the
ahead,
way down
Tom.
the line.
Talk
Yeah,
about
so she was at a Trump rally down in Florida, I believe it was, and my mom had seen it on TV. Said, "Hey, Roseanne's on TV," and then I got this text as soon as she stepped off the stage down in Florida for speaking for Trump
it.
with Trump. I got this text, "Hey, it's Roseanne. I want to talk to you in the morning." And I said, "Mom," she said, that's got to be a spam thing or something." I'm like, "Okay, well, it says it here." And then she called me from Trump's house in the morning. And
Wow.
she called me and she said, "This is the greatest story." She went in length about this is the greatest story. I've been following you, watching everything you do. And she's like, I want to have you on the show. And so I shared things with her. She said, Trump's whole family knows also about this story and they're waiting for the right time. And I'd love to have you on my show and things like this and have you come meet me. I'm like, absolutely. And so it came time and I drove up to Blanco, Texas, where she was. And she said that, like, remember I said about what drives me? The key to me
Right.
is about happiness of people. And she said, "You're so genuine. You really have genuine." And it was so nice to further spot that. I like to be trusted. That's why the FBI messes with that. But she saw that. And on her second show, she was so sweet. Her son, Jake, is amazing too. On the second show, she announced on the air that I am married to her. And I was just like, oh, I was like, and that's a compliment. That's a compliment, right?
Right.
And she gave me this beautiful, beautiful topaz pin with a crown on it to wear, like I was David,
Hmm.
and so she recognized that. She said, "Listen, with us together here, we're going to get this right. It's going to work. I want you to write with me, and I'm going to make your movie."
Really?
Yeah, she says, "It's the greatest story. We got to get this greatest story done." So all that was transpiring and more. So I love her to death. She's the most amazing, genuine woman. Roseanne is Roseanne. When you
Yeah.
meet her in person, it's the same Roseanne you see on the TV. There's
I love
nothing
her attitude.
fabricated.
Yeah.
Nothing fabricated. She is a fearless. Oh, I mean, she wants the truth out,
Hmm.
you know, and she's concerned about the plight of the Jewish genuine population, not the leaders, the genuine ones. Leaders can play different ways, and I'm not a big fan of the Prime Minister N at all. I don't like him at all. I like Jewish people, and I like Muslim people. I want everybody to be happy. So Roseanne knows that about me too. So it's like, and she knows that I believed in Christ and things like that, and she, believe in Christ, and she's like, totally aligned with that. She's fine with that,
Yeah.
but is teaching me a lot about the Jewish faith and been sending me a lot of stuff to instruct me and help me learn about that too, which is another side of my history
Mhm.
and people. So it's really been amazing. I like balance. I like learning everything I can, and I certainly appreciate her and her son and her family. She has two granddaughters that were there. They're just they look right through you. The little girl looks right through you, the one daughter and a granddaughter, and God bless them.
Yeah.
They're just real people, real people.
What is your next visit or next step with Roseanne? Is there uh,
Coming up soon, and very coming up soon. We're scheduling it now, and I am seeing if I can bring my mom up because Roseanne gave her a very nice speech, little treat thing in honor of her on the air. I think it was the first show, and so she talked to my mom for about half an hour and everything too. And my mom, God, my mom's like, Roseanne wants to marry you. It's like that's okay, that's cool, that's sweet. I don't know if I'll marry anybody ever, but it's like I think it's really sweet compliment,
yeah.
and she's just a doll, just an amazing person.
Mhm.
If there was somebody I'd marry, probably be her. So it's like she's just an amazing person, genuine. So anyway, I'm excited to do it again and to cover the nitty gritty. She wants to cover the death of the sons, which is a hard topic for me, but I know it has to be established if they're to be lifted in memory.
Yeah.
And I know that the agencies employed that. They employed that methodology to try to break me. And my response to them was, if you kill an author's son, any man's sons, he's probably going to dedicate his life in their memory. So you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve. It doesn't break the father. It makes them more dedicated to their memory and honoring them. So they failed in that aspect. And it was
Well,
Disney that said that Aiden was alive. They said they knew I was concerned for my last son's safety. That's why we came down to Texas. I mean, Fitzpatrick, the FBI, they tried everything to shut us away. And they almost did it. They almost did it. And so here we are in Texas and we're safe down here. The greatest state in the union is Texas. I'm going to say it. The greatest state in the United States is Texas.
Freedom.
God bless Texas. We're the only state that was its own country for 9 years, I've learned from a pastor. I
Mhm.
go to this one church I love. And that we could be again. And we're the only ones that can fly our flag, our state flag, the same height as the US flag. We have that right. We're the only state.
The
And
Lone
we could
Star.
be our own country again if we wanted to. And you know what? Personally, Dave, I would love if we were our own country in Texas and Trump could be our president down here.
Yeah,
So
really true. Yeah.
we
Now,
want we never our kids would never go to war again. We'd never go to war. So
in
yeah.
closing, buddy, this has been very interesting, and I
Yeah.
wanted to take you into the weeds on this one this time. You know,
Okay.
and get this and get picking the stuff out of your mind that you have there,
Sure.
and that's
Sure.
what people want to know. They want to know you that way.
Okay.
So, in closing, tell us your thoughts and what you're going to do and what's your next steps and what's advice can you give people today, Tom?
Stay alive
Elon.
and do not neglect moments, treasured moments you could have with your loved ones. Don't end up at the end of your life cycle regretting.
Mhm.
Take the time right now. Picture in your mind, okay, you're going to die, all right? And then picture, what would I do different? Take that time now to do it different. Create beautiful moments with your children, loved ones, and your friends.
Yeah.
And don't lose that opportunity. And there's no limit to what you can stack into that treasure house of beautiful memories. And that's one of the things that drove me to create the piece the way I did. I never talked about this before, but the reason I was writing the Matrix story and the way it was written originally is, see, there was the idea of having a library of memories where we could live each other's memories. And even people in elderly homes, like it became big business to put our parents away and cash in. That should not be the way it is. We should go back to pioneer days where, like the Waltons, we cherish our relatives and we take care of our elderly.
Mhm.
They're treasures.
Right.
And so the idea is that we memories of even ancestors in a library of memories, you can relive their memories and be in their most poignant moments and live them through that neural enhancer, not neural link, neural enhancer. It was to enhance, not link us, enhance us. That's why I named it that, and that's why they changed it to link.
Yeah,
Think of
link,
that.
link sounds controlling, doesn't it?
It is. That's why they changed it to link. I called it enhancer, neural enhancer. So yeah. Anyway.
Neural enhancer sounds like a personal, benefit, but
Is what it meant to be. Is a
neural.
lot of good things that can be done with it if it's in the right control, which is supposed to be under my control, so it's not abused. You have to have the right heart behind it. But that's what I would tell people is, do not ever end your life. Keep living on and look for more moments
Mhm.
that you don't have regrets at the end. And anger, hate, controlling power, it's not worth anything.
No, true.
Try to just have all the positive things in your heart and your mind. And even if you feel overwhelmed and feel like you have had a bad deal and a lot of sad memories, if you can just start to make yourself feel the positive ones, your body will follow suit, your mental health will follow suit, and you'll start to feel freed. You'll come up with reasons to celebrate.
Mhm.
So just if you're in the darkest moments, set your mind to the feeling of happiness, love, joy. Pick good memories, start with those, and build that treasure stack up of beautiful moments and build on those. And then that's all you'll have at the end is just beautiful moments.
Greatly
It's so
said,
important. Yeah.
my friend. Nice words for closing. And
Sure.
we're going to close, but I'm sure we're going to have another show. I want to know what
Yeah.
happens in this court case as you go
Yeah.
forward. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I said, in this show, I wanted people to get to know you and get to know your mind and how all this come about, because that's what's going to make people believe you more. And I set this out for this show, and I kept thinking about it. I want people to know Tom as I know
Right.
Tom, you know, and,
Right.
and and so I think you did a good job on this show. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody out there listening and watching to Dave Emmons and the Strange Reality, and my friend Tom Althouse. Very, very well. The words were so hard. I mean, it kind of gets to me a little bit now.
Oh,
What you just said.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
really, I want people to know that Tom has been through a lot, through his childhood as an actor and Disney World and working with these super churches, and he's been there and he's seen a lot and he's been through a lot. So he's speaking true words when he tells people to level up in your happiness and your memories, and
Yeah.
just be at peace. And I appreciate that. Tom Althouse, thank you so much for being
Sure.
on Strange Reality, and good night to everybody, and bye bye.